Now driving normally, the car just trundles along quite happily, like it's not any bother whatsoever. It doesn't break traction, it finds grip on the ground. It's just an easy peasy thing to drive in, no problems whatsoever. It's only if you start being silly with it that you start to go sideways. Hello, welcome to Furious Driving, and it's not the best day for working in the drive at the moment. Yesterday's frost turned into today's, well, quite a lot of snow. So digging the Mondeo out to try and work on that isn't going to happen. Digging the Mercedes out isn't going to happen either. Crown Vic might be hilarious to try and drive around. It's on Goodyear RSA Pursuit tyres. Great in Texas, not so great in a couple of inches of snow. The only car that's actually really sensible to get off the drive right now is this one, the Mini Cooper, because that's front wheel drive, is on Continental all seasons, which are really good. So I will take that for a little ride in a bit. The new Mercedes estate is actually all wheel drive as well. It's 4MATIC. However, due to lack of getting things done, I never got a set of winter tyres for it. I couldn't find a cheap set of second alloys for it, so I didn't get around to getting winter tyres. So that would be unstoppable in this weather. But because we can't work on the cars, we're going to have a snow day, and that means we're going to go and play in Hippo the Freelander. Now this is on a neighbour's drive at the moment for various reasons, but yeah, that's actually quite a steep slope, and in summer tyres that's going to really struggle to get through that. Now this, conveniently, isn't on the drive, it's not blocked in by anything else. Take that. And will old Hippo crank? Yeah, of course it will. Brilliant car, this one. Let's go find the scraper. Got my coffee, got my gloves. I've got my rubber floor mats, because that's a really handy thing to have in the Freelander. There's an MX5 right behind the car, so I need to not back into that one. Away we go. Well, today everything is basically shut. My wife's work's shut. I'm not going to do any photo shoots because obviously they're all going to be pretty pointless trying to shoot cars in the snow, and I'm not going to go and get the spanners out in the cold either. But it's really interesting just to see what the roads are like. Well, they do say you should only be travelling if it's strictly necessary, and it's strictly necessary that I test how good these tyres are in the snow, and also I need a December snowy themed photo for next year's calendar. So yeah, hence Hippo has still got all his snow on the bonnet rather than scraping it all off like he probably should do. Gosh, the abandoned cars from last night. Now this car is wearing all-terrain tyres rather than snow tyres, but it does mean, although they've not got the softer, well, they might have slightly softer compound rubber, they do have big old chunky treads, which means they can get a grip and find their way down to the tarmac. The thing with winter tyres, true winter tyres, is that they have much softer compound, so it's very grippy. It'll even grip on just sheet ice to a certain extent. There's a point where you need the studded tyres as well. This is a beautiful winter wonderland. People got sledges out on the fields over there by the look of it. Another abandoned car. I guess this is because this road was just too steep and slippery last night when the snow was really coming down. I'm hearing a really weird noise in the back of this car. What I want is a tiny, untouched, ungritted road just to go and see what this car is actually like. Car that got stuck last night. When it was coming down at its fiercest, the weather was absolutely dreadful. go and get some nice photos of this car in the snow. That's the aim of this journey, really. I think with this car it has got ABS, traction control, hill descent control and the viscous coupling, so it is four-wheel drive, but it does not have diff locks and low ratio, so it is slightly at a disadvantage there. But even this road is clear. I'm amazed how clear, considering what the roads were like last night when everything became gridlocked. I'm amazed even these little tiny lanes like this are clear. Tell you what, the grip in this car on these all-terrains, on that really bad slush, is really, really good. Right, now's our chance to go and get an undisturbed snow shot. Right, let's go grab a photo. Well, this was much less snowy than I was anticipating. I mean, it's nice but yeah, I think we've probably sorted out our next year's December calendar shot. These all-terrain tyres, I think they're General brand or something. Can I spin the wheels? A little bit. So good, so much grip. They're designed for mud, I guess mud and snow. I need to find a smaller lane than this. A little bit slippery there. Exploring the limits of traction on ice in a 100 horsepower Freelander, yeah. Because of rubbish automatic, it does kind of just hunt the gears and just do the wrong thing. It just changes up and you try and boot it. Actually, it's got the, you can do shifty stuff in this one, can't you? I forget you can do the manual override with this gearbox. Right, let's try an even littler lane. See how far we can get before we have to back out of there. Okay, winter driving tips. First of all, warm the car up before you get going so the inside of the windscreen is demisted properly, and also make sure you do all of the outside windows, and I mean all of them, not just a credit card size hole in the middle of the windscreen, the entire windscreen, the entire back window and the entire side windows and your mirrors as well, because you need to see where you're going, otherwise it's dangerous. Now I'm just driving on pure ice. When you do set off, make sure you've got a flask of hot drink with you so that if you do get stuck, you've got something to keep you going, and you've got a blanket in the car as well. Maybe consider chucking a spade in the boot in case you get stuck in a snowdrift. When you pull away, start in a higher gear. Don't just welly it in first gear, and use really gentle inputs, not like I've been doing because I've been being silly on purpose. Ideally, you should have done this a couple of weeks ago. But if you've got winter tyres, fit them to the car. If you haven't got winter tyres, go and buy a set and keep your summer tyres in the garage, because proper tyres make this kind of stuff easily passable. Incorrect tyres make it absolutely impossible. Make sure you've got gloves in the car and a scarf, that kind of stuff. This is a proper picture postcard winter wonderland. This is amazingly pretty. Where does the road go? Oh, here, yeah, okay. Now this will be a challenge. That was impressive. This little goat, little hippo, is just astonishing at how good it is. That defender flashed me out. I think he thought he might see me struggle a little bit, but these tyres are just the best. This car is just the best. Every so often I think I'm going to flip this car for a discovery, but honestly, it's so good. If you're new to this channel, this is Hippo the Freelander. I've had this car just under a year, and although I'd been looking for a Mk1 Freelander because I think they're quite a cool potential future classic, in fact definite future classic, I hadn't really put much effort into buying one just yet. But at the beginning of the year I was trying to sell Quentin the Rover 200 convertible, who I'd restored last year. A friend was interested in the car but needed to sell this first, and I thought, well, you know what, I want a Mk1 Freelander, he wants Quentin, let's do a part swap. And I wound up with this car with the intention of selling it to get my money back, but found it was such a useful thing to have around, I couldn't part with it. It's such a good car. Unsuitable for heavy vehicles or anything that's not four-wheel drive. Why, this is actually really slippery. Finally, we might have found something to defeat the tyres. So yeah, it's been brilliant. It's been great for putting the dogs in, it's been great for sort of towing cars up and down the drive when they've not been working. We've got the roof tent so we can bimble off for holidays in the thing. It's great. The only time it's ever let us down, well, 2 times it's let us down, was one time when we went to the island of Lundy back in the springtime, and we left it in the car park and Stormy Innes blew up, and so we were there on the island for nearly a week instead of 2 days, and this thing's alarm was going off constantly on a cliff top car park for about a week. We came back and the car was utterly stone dead. But that battery did jump start in the end with a pickup truck that sat with it for about half an hour running power into it. And then of course the gearbox broke, which you might have seen recently when I had to rebuild the Jatco gearbox over in the barn. I was very glad to have the barn for that job. Although I'm sure I can get back round this corner, something coming up again might not be able to stop. And something coming up might be going full pelt because they're trying to get up the hill in 2-wheel drive. Oh, run out of snow. Boring. This thing has got so much control, it's brilliant. I am going to have to go back up this hill again in a second just to see what it's like trying to go the other way on these tyres, which might mean reversing down this hill again in a minute. People knock Freelanders for not being proper all-terrain off-roaders, but they are incredibly capable cars. Give it another whirl, going uphill rather than down this time. Now I'm aware that Land Rover products have got a generally woeful reliability history. If you watch LR Time, the German channel where the husband and wife have got a couple of Discovery 3s and 4s, they're constantly fixing really quite new cars, but the ability of these things to just go anywhere and get to places is just unrivaled. Second gear, so we're not shifting up and down unexpectedly. Must do those windscreen wipers at some point. I can feel it slithering, but it's just gripping and going. It's just keeping on putting the power down. I can feel little squirms from here and there, but no, nothing is flashing on the dashboard to say it's doing anything. See around the corner so you can give it a bit of welly. Oh. That is deliberately going into the Finnish school of rallying there. Stop. That is it trying to stop completely on solid ice. That is really not great, is it? Let's go full speed ahead. Yeah, that's how much control you have on sheet ice, and the warning for the traction control came on that time. Well, my final test of the Freelander is to come to an undisturbed car park. This is an upper level car park and not many vehicles can actually get up here, and the stuff that is here has been here all night. Last time it really snowed I took the white Mini Cooper we used to have, which is on winter tyres, and it drove through here until it got stuck. Here we go, perfect for a Christmas card photo. Excellent. Before I disturb the snow driving around in circles, let's get this. Brilliant. Grab the camera, go and grab myself a nice Christmas photo. So the final test of the Freelander is what's it like if we're in just basically deep snow. And well, we're in about, I think about 5-6 centimetres, maybe even a little bit more. And it's undisturbed because this is the top car park of a hotel that no one else can get to unless you've got 4-wheel drive. Let's go. And I'll tell you what, it's brilliant fun. I like this car so much. Okay, I finally found the point at which you start to lose traction in this car, and basically it's when you're under enormous amounts of snow. Oh, this is a laugh. This is hilarious. So what I can tell you after extensive testing of this Freelander Mk1 on BF Goodrich all-terrain tyres is that pretty much nothing stops it. We're in reasonably deep snow, we've driven on pure packed ice, we've driven on slushy roads, and basically little Hippo is as unstoppable as ever. I love this car so much. It is such an unassuming little thing, but so very capable. It just goes to show you don't need a mega serious all-terrain rig, a Defender tricked out on jacked up suspension and stuff, although it would be kind of fun to get around. What I need to do now is a comparison in something like a Nissan Juke to show that modern SUVs, which are two-wheel drive jacked up hatchbacks, are nowhere near this good, because I know for a fact they won't be, because the four-wheel drive system in this thing is absolutely fantastic. It's a really clever system which admittedly does brake quite a lot, but you know, it hasn't, well, did the last time I had to fix it, so it hasn't broken for me yet. Hippo is brilliant. I'm going to go get a cup of tea and enjoy the snow from indoors now. Maybe tomorrow it won't be snowing and I can go and fix the Mondeo some more, or even get as far as the barn and start working on the Mini. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this silly ride out in some snow, enjoying the picturesque scenery of Kent, and yeah, join me again tomorrow. Maybe we'll be working on a car again, who knows. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, head over to the merch store furiousdriving.co.uk to find calendars, fridge magnets of all the cars, stickers, hats, t-shirts, you name it. It's definitely hat weather. Right, join me again next time doing something else completely different. See you later, goodbye.